It's your boy, 4 Letters. Want to thank everybody who been riding with your boy tonight. Haters, participators, congratulators. You know what I mean? I've been down 10 toes, and I want to thank y'all. This one for you, baby. Yeah, on the path to the top, to follow and lead the way. I gotta get it now, cause tomorrow could be the day. Failing is not an option, I get it by any means. Staying loyal to my dog.
Hey you guys, thank you for tuning in into BLKG TV Network's first networking event. I am so excited. I want to say thank you to everybody that came out. Thank you to everybody who supported. Thank you to everybody who donated. I want to say thank you to all of my vendors. Oh my God, I want to shout out Thomas. Oh my God, for coming out. He take the most amazing pictures. Oh my God. Y'all make sure y'all hit him up. We will be having more. This is our first, not only, but the first events that you'll be seeing coming from BLKG TV Network.
Then it seems that some of y'all lost in the sauce. Letters gotta pay his dues, just the cost of a boss. Why floss for the gram? Get respect when it's earned. Fall true to the game and every lesson is learned. Blunts burn as I reflect, rolling up in the nighttime. No regrets, more or less in my lifetime. Straight to the top is where I'm likely to go. And you already know just who I'm writing this for.
Hi, my name is Pamela Cole, and I just want to give a shout out to my daughter, Danielle, for this awesome event that she is doing on this evening.
Hey, just want to give a real big shout out to my baby sister for all the hard work over the years. She never gave up. So we're here celebrating her first networking event. I want to say I'm proud of her.
Hi, I'm Shawnee from Shaded by Shawnee. Our business caters to the fashionable woman in the new millennium. We have different shades, different styles, different colors, different effects for every different woman, for every woman's different mood and attitude. We just want to thank Dee for bringing us out and giving us the exposure, and we celebrate everything that she's doing. Congratulations.
Hello, I'm Tisha Favors with Body Favors Waist Beads. And I'm Tia Favors with Body Favors Waist Beads. You can check us out on Instagram at Body Favors Waist Beads. Also, you can go to www.bodyfavorswaistbeads.com. We are a waist beads company that promotes body positivity and self-love. Dee, I want to say congratulations on your first event. It's so amazing. I'm having a great time.
I am too. Congratulations. We wish you many more successful events.
And thank you for having us.
Hey everybody, this is Sam, catered by CP Grubs. I'm at one of the dopest events I've been to in a long time. Black Girl TV, Danielle Walker put on a great event, and I'm so blessed that she was so kind to have me here to cater, and meet new people. So thank you, Danielle.
Hello, my name is Nicole Andrews. I have been knowing Danielle for forever. Elementary, middle school. Congratulations on your big event. Go girl.
Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Janita Jackson. I am the CEO of Infinite Potential Financial Consulting, where we're in the business of changing lives through offering our services, whether it be for finances or business consulting services. I am here at the BLGTV networking event, and it is absolutely amazing. The CEO of BLGTV is Danielle Walker, and she is fabulous. She just brought the heat. She just changed some lives tonight. She just planted some seeds. And you guys, if you missed it, you better make sure you get here for the next one, all right? Peace out.
Hey y'all, my name is Daniel Rosebud. I go by Rosebud. I am the Executive Director of Georgia Reconnecting Youth. I just wanted to say thank you so much to Black Girl TV. This was awesome. Thank you, Danielle, for inviting me out, and much success to you for the rest of the year and on forward.
Family, peace family, it's me, Shatima Tankson. I'm the CEO principal of 1028 West and Weston Curtis Homes, where we focus on executing attainable strategies in real estate and business. I'm also the director, the sales director for BLKG TV. And Danielle, I'm so proud of you. You keep saying we did it together, girl. It's you. It's all you, and I'm so freaking proud of you. Every single thing you set out to do, you do it. and you make it look so good, and there's no stopping you. I see this vision for you, and it's so big. There's nothing I won't do to support you and help you with your goal. You've done tremendous tonight with getting us all together. I appreciated being invited to speak on the very first BLKG TV panel. It was amazing. It was outstanding. And we're going to continue to do the good work, putting all the people together, giving people a platform and a foundation to grow, and grow. And I'm proud of you, Danielle. Let's grow.
I want to say thank you again for coming out to BLKG TV Network's first networking event. I am excited. This is our first event, and for me, I feel like it went well. You know, to see all of y'all smiling faces, to be here, just to be able to take this moment and just say we had our first, you know, that's a milestone for me, for the first, and just to be able to share it with you guys, I'm excited. So with this panel, these people, you know, are very special to me. All y'all are special, you know, everybody is special. But just for the topic of our discussion, I felt like these three would be, you know, ideal for this discussion. So in the future, when we do have other networking events, be willing to be called on, y'all, in the communities of the audience. Because your day will come and I'll be asking, hey, can you be a panelist for me? And I really appreciate it. I don't know, I was getting in the hot seat when I got up here on the side. Yeah. So, good evening, everyone. How y'all doing? My name is Janita Jackson. I am the CEO of Infinite Potential Financial Consulting. I am a business and financial consulting, and I have been in the business of assisting people with changing their lives. We believe in financial stability through strategic planning. And I've been in the field for 17 years, and I'm excited to be here with you guys this evening.
Yes, good evening everyone. My name is Danielle Rosebud. I go by Rosebud. I am the Executive Director for Georgia Reconnecting Youth Inc. We focus on organizational development as well as workforce development. Our mission is to increase the capacity of youth serving and youth-led organizations as well as the employability of young adults.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to see you and great to be seen. Thank you. My name is Shatima Tankson. I am the principal owner of 1028 West and Weston Curtis Homes. Those are two real estate brokerage firms here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. I grew up in real estate, but I have been in real estate licensed about 7 years now. A broker probably about 4. So with these questions that I have, none of them have heard the question. So if they have a moment where they need to take a moment to think, it's gonna be okay because they have no idea what I'm asking, okay? So our first question, we're gonna start with Shatima. What are some of the trends you're seeing in the market for home buyers or renters right now? Some of the trends that I'm seeing a lot of people that are jumping out there and becoming real estate investors. They're kind of just betting on themselves and seeing the opportunity. We've been pretty good and proactive about getting the community involved in learning about investing in real estate and buying the block, because all of us can do that, right? All of us could get together right now and buy up a building just like this, but what's stopping us? So that's one of the trends that I'm seeing. Another trend that I'm seeing is people just afraid to get out there because it's uncertain and the interest rates are up and down and a little scary. And we have a solution around that too. So we create solutions and strategies, you know, for you to get in the game, and real estate is key. Real estate will take you places you wouldn't believe. You know, my life has changed and has been impacted deeply by real estate, so I encourage you all to get involved. In the state of our financial economy and what you've seen during tax season, y'all know this is not tax season. And or helping your client's budget, what is the most common mistake we as people are making financially, in your opinion,
that if we could start right now in this room to change, what would it be?
So one of the mistakes that I'm really seeing for most people, and it's good that you asked that because it's actually impacting their returns, is the way that they're completing the W-4 forms for the federal government and also your state withholding forms. You have a lot of individuals or families that once upon a time, they were actually dependent on that large refund in January. Even married families, sometimes that was the vacation money. If they were homeowners, that was the money that they were using for the renovation of the home. However, if you fill out that W-4 form incorrectly, and when I say incorrectly, perfect example, I had a client, she had 3 children. When she filled out her form, she actually claimed head of household on the form. And she also claimed additional allowances in the form of her 3 children. They actually take out less taxes. And most people don't realize that's the equivalent of you actually receiving a portion of the refund that you would have received that next year throughout that year that you're in. And so they go through that process and then they get to January and they're ready to file their taxes and they're thinking that they're going to receive a bigger refund, and then that's when they're like, oh my gosh, why are my numbers so low? Your numbers are so low because of the way that you filled out that form. So honestly, with some families, I understand that that they juggle those allowances because they need them, but I'm going to be realistic when I say this. If you need the bigger return in January, you need to go back, address that now. Look at what you have for your forms, because a lot of people have, if you have head of household, they take out less taxes. If you're married filing jointly, they take out less taxes because you're claiming those allowances actually every bi-weekly, monthly, when you get your payroll. So if you need that bigger return in January when tax season is actually going, you need to actually either drop down your allowances, consider claiming single instead of married or head of household, so that it will not work against you in the coming year.
That was deep, girl. Because I be trying to get all the money throughout the year. But I'm one of the ones, I do half and half. The first half, give me my money. And the second half, take what you need. But I'm gonna need to break even come taxes, okay? Being an advocate for underprivileged youth, what are some of the trends that you're seeing in our community that needs to be brought to our attention?
You said being an advocate for youth, what are the trends that I see, what causing an issue or?
So what are some of the trends that you're seeing in our community with the underprivileged youth? That's something that sticks out that you're seeing is a constant pain point to where we need to be aware of it. So if some of us have teens, like young teens or fresh out of high school, like what outside of like a financial need, what is it that you think that we should be aware of that they're dealing with now?
That's a really good question. When you say what should the community be aware of and I would say in hopes to support the young adults that are around us, those things they vary. I will say that most recently, what I've been coming in contact with are young adults who have been misclassified as not being homeless or, so I work with a group of youth, 16 to 24, and we define those youth as opportunity youth. And they're defined as opportunity youth if they're disconnected from either work or education opportunities. And so this group of people are very important because they could be young parents, they're someone's children, they're someone's brother or sister, and they could be the head of household or the parent for both someone younger and the caregiver for someone older. And so to empower this group is also very important because they really lie on both spectrums when we think about permanency and creating opportunity. And so when young adults go through a period of adulting, and sometimes they do become homeless, which attributes to their disconnection from work or community resources. And they might go move in with their brother or their cousin or their uncles or their aunts and aren't readily being classified as homeless and or someone that is disconnected. And so for that, they don't always receive access to the programs or resources that would sustain them. A lot of the times, even when we think about like, at the, this might seem random, but food stamps. Parents sometimes fight to keep their children on their food stamps so that they can receive them after they turn a certain age. And like I think I have a friend, and he, he's my age, but he's a part of someone else's food stamps, and that causes issues for the home. Sometimes they don't get certified. Sometimes but they're battling to keep these resources. But then this person is ineligible to go and receive independent resources if they really need it. So there are just certain scenarios that latch us and make us dependent, and then there are certain scenarios that we refuse to recognize, like the fact, hey, if you're sleeping on somebody's couch, you're possibly homeless, or if this address on your ID isn't the same, you're possibly, homeless. And that means that you have access to certain resources, but if no one tells you that or supports you in that way, you continue to have a bad connotation about those types of resources. You don't identify that way, and you're slow to take on the support.
I hope y'all don't mind me chiming in. I know this is definitely your question, but okay. Because as he started speaking with the question you asked, so background for me, I worked for the state of Georgia for 10 years. And for working for the state of Georgia, I was with the Department of Juvenile Justice. I used to be a juvenile probation parole supervisor for Douglas County. So I supervised all of the probation officers that supervised the youth on probation. And so when you asked about trends, the trend that we saw the most was the lack of a male role model, a positive male role model in the home. For whatever reason, they could be in jail, they could be in prison, mom's just not getting along with them. We saw that lack. And I know I'm known for kind of being blunt, so you guys are just gonna have to work with my language. Danielle already knows me and she loves me the way that I am. Some women like to say that they don't need a man, but these young boys, they need these positive male role models. And a lot of times when they were on probation, we had a male mentor program that we would put them into. That for them, for a lot of them, that was a big change in their lives. And I know that they have a lot of male mentor programs around Atlanta, like the 100 Black Men of Atlanta. I think Steve Harvey has a mentor program, but putting them, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Atlanta, putting them in that position, because realistically, as a woman, I don't have a son, but if I had one, I would know, as a woman, I can't teach you how to be a man. I don't know how to be a man. I was not born as a man. I do not know what man thinks or how to feel as a man. I can't help you process those feelings. I can't help you grow through adolescency. And we all know, psychology speaking, that from the age of 13 to 17, the youth are actually going through an identity crisis where they're trying to figure out, who am I? What is life is about? And so with the males, they need that male role model to kind of show them, this is what being a man is about. Especially now, because so many men were silenced emotionally, because people, stop crying. And they need to know that it's okay to feel. It's okay to have that safe space where you can feel. So if anything, I would say that if you know somebody that has a son and you kind of see him going down the road, encourage them to get a male mentor. Sometimes it could be somebody in the family, uncle, cousin, brother, godfather, like whatever. But that actually is what can help put them on the right track.
Amen. So speaking to us as people, and not with the many hats that we all wear, because we all wear many hats, right? Financially, how much do we need to have saved for emergencies and the unexpected? And can you elaborate, in your opinion, of what we can afford? How much is at least the minimum that we need to have saved for that unexpected?
That's really gonna, that figure or that number is actually gonna be individualized, because you have to tailor that to your particular lifestyle. Starting out, I'm a firm believer of get to that $1,000 in a bank account. They call it a rainy day fund. But once you get there, ideally looking at your bills, if you're asking me what my thought process is, having at least 3 to 6 months worth of your bills, like whatever it takes to sustain your household. And I mean holistically sustain your household. We're talking about the gas you put in your car, everything from clothes, everything, your cell phone bills, all of the little add-ons, because sometimes people don't include everything. But in order to know that, you really need to know what your monthly budget is or how much money you have going out. Whatever that is, what your budget number, the number that you need to make your household work each and every month, at least 3 to 6 months of that, just in case there's some type of, let's say you befall some type of tragedy. If you lose your job, if you have 3 to 6 months in savings, then you already know, okay, yes, I lost my job, I'm upset, it may have made me mad, but I have this timeline before I need to start freaking out. And having that actually, especially as a parent, because I'm a parent, having that can actually provide you with some type of peace of mind, because you're not looking at your child like, oh crap, I lost my job, and in 2 weeks, we don't have anything coming in, and I have bills, how am I gonna feed my child? So just having that. So that would be my recommendation. That's gonna be different for everybody in this room, but first get to 1,000, because they say you gotta crawl before you can walk. If you're not used to saving, sometimes it can be difficult. I am definitely an avid believer of, if you need it, or if you are having problems saving, kind of think about the latte factor. That's something that's huge. What are you doing, or where's the money? What are you spending money on that you can actually take from this area and repurpose? It may be something, for those of us that eat out, because I know when I used to work for the state, I was at every restaurant. I was at Martin's for breakfast, I was at the Taco Bell or someplace else for lunch, and if I did not feel like cooking dinner, I was grabbing pizzas or something on the way home. So something as simple as, okay, we're gonna get serious about saving. I'm not gonna eat out anymore. I'm gonna go grocery shopping. I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna take my lunch, or if you live close enough to go home for lunch, I'm not gonna eat out, I'm gonna go home for lunch. If it's Starbucks, then you may say, okay, well, maybe I only have a latte one time a week instead of like having it like 7 days or 5 days a week. If you're smoking cigarettes and your kids have been begging you to stop for forever, it could be giving up nicotine. The latte factor kind of works on compound interest. It's about the things that we do daily that we're not thinking about that compound over time. Like if you spend $5 today, you're not thinking about it. But at the end of the year, that's a different figure. The typical person that smokes cigarettes actually spends thousands of dollars a year on cigarettes. And so that could be easily somebody's 3 to 6 months right there. If you give and take, if you add on a little bit. So what can you give up for a little while in order to get to where you need to be, to at least have a good financial nest egg that'll be there if you need it, whenever you need it.
What are some of the pain points that you're seeing regarding our youth once they graduate high school? Do you believe we as parents should stop cutting the umbilical cord at 18?
So just to clarify my background with youth engagement, so I do youth policy. I help draft certain policies, or I ensure that there is appropriation funding coming down from federal for youth service programs. So that's my general work, right? Like I'm a youth advocate, I'm a youth policy advocate. I work for the Center for Law and Social Policy, NPC. I also used to be a board member for the Department of Community Affairs here, where I wrote Section 8 and reentry and did a whole bunch of things around homelessness and food for about 153 counties here for the state of Georgia. When you ask me certain things about youth, sometimes I'm a little bit removed because I work nationally and I deal with a bit of a bigger number. But because my work here at the state level, because I run a nonprofit personally, right? So all that other stuff is like my consulting work, that's my platform, that's what I do. But then my nonprofit itself is focused on workforce development. And so where that comes in contact with education is we're essentially the non-traditional track for young adults or for anybody, right? The issue is when people exit their primary education is that nobody is really encouraging them to look elsewhere outside of traditional college. And we form, us as young adults or people that are, getting that insight, we're forming a bias or a connotation to non-traditional learning when really our lives are not all set up to go through traditional school. I exited traditional school at 10th grade, and I ended up being a business prodigy. I was one of the youngest people in the country to hold a post-baccalaureate licensure without ever having a degree. And so but I also had a set of twin brothers and sisters. When one chose to go the GED route and the other chose to go the traditional high school route, he chose to go to McLaren, which is a non-traditional high school, in order to finish out because he had such a opposition to getting a GED. And I stood at the crossroads as their younger brother, like, I'm homeless and I don't have the support to go through school, but I know that I could dog walk any high school diploma, but I just didn't have the time, and I was living on my own at 17. So I had to choose the GED just so I can get into college and qualify for jobs. And so what I learned was that, you know, the non-traditional route, even if it's useful to us, it's looked down upon. And so as we exit high school and have all these varying situations, even if we were lucky enough to make it through those traditional situations, nobody is redirecting us and letting us know it's okay to look into a non-traditional route. And we run neck and neck with Ivy League. Like, through the process of going through workforce development and fellowships and this experiential learning path, it's the same that you would do to defend a dissertation. And so I find myself really now, my whole education has been non-traditional. But I advise general education and workforce development. So I think the problem is that the conversation isn't being had, that young adults aren't being promoted very early on to look at more non-traditional and creative ways of learning and experiencing work. And that leaves them at a detriment, because when we get out, the real people that are having success in the upward mobility in these companies are the people that can implement, are the individuals that can manage. And they're not being trained to be blue collar workers, or, you know, those jobs, and I'll end here, but those jobs are fine, but it catches us in a loop that doesn't, it's linear and it doesn't have any vertical movement. So yeah. At some point you will learn it though. You'll go through traditional college until you get through your bachelor's or your master's, and then you'll start to try to go through all this stuff to try to learn leadership style and implementing, and how do you actually be an entrepreneur. And so at some point you have to do the academia, the theory, but you also have to do the very practical implementation. And it's just really about at what point do we get introduced to that.
I'm a mom. I'm a preference that. For the course of this question, my daughter definitely would fall into the youth category because she just turned 18 last month. She's a senior in high school. You know, prom is coming. She's so excited. So when you ask the question regarding like cutting the umbilical cord at 18, the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of our brain that's actually responsible for logic and reasoning, is not even fully formed until we're 26, 25-ish. So that means that these children, or your children, are really incapable of making a sound and or logical decision until they're at that age, which is why we should not cut the umbilical cord at 18. Especially considering the fact that the school system now doesn't even include financial literacy. So these kids don't know how to manage no checkbooks, they don't know how money works, and a lot of times because we hold them so close, because I know my daughter, I held her so close. For her 18th birthday, she wanted to go on a cruise, and they had excursions there, and she was like, we gotta pay for this? Yes, we do. Welcome to the real world, you know, where you have to pay for things, where everything is not given to you. So a lot of times it's about teaching them these things. And also because everybody in this room, as a parent noted, parenthood does not come with a manual. It really should. I honestly believe that it should, but it does not. And so I was going through this thing with her, like when she was 16, where I didn't want to have an entitled monster on my hands. And a lot of times when we give them too much, they become entitled little monsters. And so I have to, even like now, she used to work for me, I fired her. She lasted about a couple of months. I told her to shred stuff. I came back like 2 days later, it was still there. I said, you know what, this is not working. It was during 2020, like, since you're working for mom, you're not taking it seriously. Well, go out there and work for the world. And she's been with Wendy's, I think, almost like a year and a half, 2 years. So it's funny that she couldn't shred papers, but you come out them floors and wipe them counters up and do them fold-for-folds, huh? But, you know, bringing it back in, educationally, my background, I'm actually in alignment with him. And that comes from several sectors because I have went to school. You know, I do have the bachelor's in accounting. I do have the master's in criminal justice with a concentration in law. You know what that got me? It got me a lot of student loan debt. And a lot of times when parents are encouraging their children to go into school and you don't have that 529 plan or a plan set up for them to actually go to school and you're not encouraging them to actually apply for scholarships so the school is actually paid for, which by the way you can start doing when they're sophomores in high school. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But these kids are graduating with like $40,000 worth of debt. And typically the job, I know when I worked for the state, they wasn't paying me enough money to like live comfortably and pay all of my student loans. If you move strategically, I will say like last year I was blessed enough because I did work for the state and I am strategic. When I left them, I did work for a nonprofit before I started my own. So my student loans were forgiven last year, so clap up for that. But that was $197,000 worth of debt that I had chained to my name. And I never knew how heavy it was until it was gone. So I won't say that going to school is the only route. And I think our kids now, they're seeing the little kid on YouTube that's 7 years old talking about toys that's a millionaire. They're seeing these YouTube stars, they're seeing people make money off of TikTok. So they're not traditional kids anymore. They look at us like, I don't want to go to work, I want to be a YouTube star. And a lot of them will tell you that. And so because of that, we need to get to the point where we're kind of more understanding. With me being both, my non-traditional education has made me more money than my traditional education ever has. And so because of that, I'm very open with my daughter. We have these conversations. She can stay home until she's about 25. That's the age that we agreed on. However, you are going to have bills because you need to learn. Even right now, she doesn't know, I don't need her little money, but she pays bills. On the 5th of every month, she has to give me like $50 for rent. I think it may be like $120 or $25 at most. I take that money, I put it into a savings account for her, she don't even know. When she's finally ready to go, she's gonna get all that money back and she can use that to help buy her furniture or do something else. But when you get in the real world, these people gonna want their money on the 5th. So I need for you to be used to paying this bill on the 5th. And internet is one of the bills that she has to pay. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm petty, because you know with Comcast, you can turn off certain devices in your house. If she do not pay her internet bill on time, I do turn that thing off. And it takes about 2 seconds to pay it, because you know these kids cannot live without the Wi-Fi passcode.
Why are you so passionate about what you do? We'll start with you, Shatima.
Why am I so passionate about what I do? Because I watched my grandmother raise somebody else's children. You know, I watched my grandmother work until, you know, the day she went into the hospital and didn't come out. My family is full of entrepreneurship. And I was also one of those kids who wanted to learn life on my own. I have been displaced and without a home before. Last year I broke my leg so severely and I didn't have an emergency fund. You're talking to a real estate broker. My job is to go out here and walk, and I couldn't walk. As a person that is full of ideas and didn't know and what to do, who to go to, and this, that, and the other, I pride myself on the resources that I feel like I needed. Being the person that I needed, that drives me. Like I needed someone to show me, or someone to just stop and just say, hey, look,
You know, this is how you do this, or maybe you shouldn't do it like that, or maybe you're spending all this money here, but let me show you how to put it here, and you know what to do in that regard. I do that because I want to be wealthy, and God needs me to be wealthy in order to provide and do the things that He sent me here to do. I have to have a lot of money.
Yes.
I need a lot. Preach. You know, and not just about shoes. You know, because I like a good shoe, right? You know, I want to pay it back. I want apartment buildings. I want to create programs for single mothers. I want my son's college paid for. I don't want him graduating with $40-something thousand, $197,000 in debt. I want it paid for. I want to live a life by design. Not by default. I had to learn that through business, though. I had to learn that through business. Like, I had to learn that, wait, I can really do it like this? Do I really want to work? I learned a long time ago that I wasn't built to work for anybody else. I am not a good employee. You know, let's be real. Like, I'm not, I'll do what I have to do, but I'm better at creating and being the resource for someone else. So in order to do that, I have to go out here and learn. I have to take my business classes. Like, I'm taking the business certifications and the this and the other. I am the non-traditional student that's forever learning and that's paying $800 for this class and this class. It's gonna come from somewhere. And I am a professional student because I need you to know. Again, I'm always going to go back to me wanting to be the resource. I'm passionate about being the resource that I absolutely needed. I needed a mentor, so I'm a mentor. You know, I needed someone to do things for me, so I do things for someone. I needed someone to just stop and teach me, so I stop and I teach. And I think it's advantageous to be a good neighbor. So when I first started my firm, I actually thought I could change the world, like one tax return at a time. And I'm not even lying. And I had some amazing clients, right? I had clients get their refund and they got engaged. You know, one of them said, "Oh, I bought a car, I could get this job I want it now. Like, thank you so much." And as the years passed, I went from feeling like, oh, I'm changing the world to feeling like I was a drug dealer. And I'll explain. It felt like they were just coming for that one big hit a year. And that was it. And I read people naturally. And I began to read my clients. Like, you had this money spent already. Like, you just writing down the dollars and the cents so you could just know where it's going. Like, it's spent before it even hits your account. And you see how they're spending it over around TVs. You need the TV every year? And so that's actually what made me more passionate about the financial literacy aspect. Like, okay, we need to dig deeper here. This isn't impacting enough. This isn't changing enough. We need to start getting to the root cause. We need to educate you about credit. We need to put you in a position where you start learning about money so that you can change your situation. I don't need you moving every year. I don't need you dependent on this tax return. And I used to hate this. Some clients used to need their refund like it was air. And I hated that because they needed it to pay their rent or their bills. I even had one girl, she told me she needed it so she could stay out of jail. Imagine brokering your freedom based off of when the IRS let those funds go into your account. I need my refund by this date or I'm going to have to report in. And so that changed me in terms of how dig we deep. That's why we're very passionate, not only about financial advocacy, but about helping you change your life in totality. Okay, you want to start a business? Let's talk about this. Let's get these processes started. Let's take you down to the state. Okay, you got the business and you need funding to make the business go faster. Let's talk about how you can build business credit or how we can make this business profitable so that you are actually eligible for business funding. Let's build this thing like it's a Fortune 500 company, because that's what it's going to be in the future if you believe, right? And just to let you guys know, I'm also a business coach, right? So let's put that confidence inside of you so you can continue on this journey, whether your friends and family support you or not, because there's strangers out there that will support you sometimes before your friends and family members do. And you have so many people that quit before they get started because they're dependent on the people around them and support them, and they don't give them that life that they need. But it's somebody out there for everybody. And if you're thinking about starting a business, and I'm gonna get ready to end because I ain't trying to be here all night. But if you're thinking about starting a business, honestly, you were uniquely created for a reason. You were given that vision for a reason. Your tribe is out there, and they waiting on you. They waiting on you. And you got them waiting on you. And you know we like to be fashionably late and all, but I mean, get started, jump in, do what you need to do to get where you need to be so that you can start impacting those lives and changing them. And that's why I'm passionate about what I do.
I am passionate about my work, I think, for the same reason that both of these ladies are, because I was affected by the issue. I went through traditional and non-traditional education, and I was a fairly advanced person, and I just did not achieve financial stability in the amount of time that I thought I should. And so I really wanted to recreate all the types of programs that I went through. And I also wanted to, with my programs, with me training people in project management, I also have a case management structure that I go by. And so it's a GROW model. It's modeled after performance coaching, which raises somebody's awareness of something. And I believe that we already all have the ability and the talents to be very successful. Sometimes our awareness about things are not raised, or we're not aware of resources, we're miscategorized, we're pushed into the wrong directions, where groupthink affects us. What somebody thinks about getting a GED versus a high school diploma may affect our trajectory, right? So I think for me it's all about too, like, how do I correct some of the narrative around non-traditional education? How do I innovate around non-traditional education? And even just changing the language of calling it non-traditional versus traditional. I think, again, to my point earlier, this is just about who supplies the education, which institution kind of is the vehicle. And so I haven't found the right language for that, but what brings me to my work is also what keeps me here, and that is the thought of innovation.
Now we have this lovely piece of art. This lovely piece of art by our artist here. He's actually drawing one this evening. He was working on right here evening. All right. You want to tell people?
Keith Thurman.
Keith Thurman. Y'all give it up for our artist. All right. So he drew something specifically for us. This lovely painting. This is the best auction donation fundraiser. You got a 65. Can I get a 65? We got a hot 65 for tonight. We got 60. We got a, ooh girl, 70. Come on, bless the Lord. Amen. We got this for this painting right here. Ooh, we got $100 for the auction. You want for the painting? Can I get a 50? Can I get 105? Huh? 105? All right, we got 105 over here for the lady. We got a 125 right here with the tweed. We got a 130. 150. We got a 160 right here going for this lovely art right here. This lovely 165. We got a 165 over here. 165. We're gonna be 165. We gotta come lucky tonight. 175. Anybody we gonna read this 175 for this donation right here for this beautiful work of art? We got 165 going once, 175 going once, 175 going twice. 180. Put a man in the red shirt right here trying to make my night. You better go, friend. That's what I'm talking about. We got a 180 right here. All right, we're gonna beat this 180 off this man. Now, we got 200. Yeah, let me go. We got 200 right here, going. We got 200 right here for the lady in the purple. Look, God gonna bless you. You bless, donate to a good cause right here, right here. She got 200 for the painting. We got 200 going once, 200 going twice, 200 sold. 200 sold. This was a lovely event. I appreciate you guys. Give it up for yourselves. Y'all are amazing. Sure. The company? Okay, so we are BLKG TV Network. We are an independent hosting company for independent filmmakers. We allow filmmakers to host with us. It ain't free, you gotta pay, but they can host with us, and we do pay them for viewership. So we're basically we take it down Disney. So we're gonna be the Black Disney. Alright, that's who we are. I appreciate you guys. Again, this was a lovely event. We are right on time. You are free to go, you know.